pulse of the VI. Listen close and you will see why. The information will set you free. Stand together, never divide. Pulse VI.
Good afternoon. You're here with BVI Chick and Swain Show. We don't have Binta today, but welcome to Pulse VI.
Yes.
It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, exactly 3 o'clock.
Another Saturday.
We got a man Blake in the house as usual. Got the camera set up. We actually have some guests today.
Yes, we do.
I make it sound like we don't have guests at all. We actually have some guests today.
I think it's because 2 weeks in between.
We had guests.
But I think people enjoy that. Just the flow of conversation and us just talking about, things that are on people's mind that, they may not talk about, but they're wondering about. So it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, that's good. It's maybe because, what was I going to say? I was going to say maybe it's because the show is getting popular, or the last one, I think, it had a lot of views in a short period of time.
Right.
I mean, I have the most views right now, but our last video had, I think, one of the highest views in a short period of time.
Cool.
I don't know if y'all were checking the stats.
Cool.
But I was keeping up with it.
Cool. And it's always good when people meet you on the street and say, hey, I was listening.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when it's someone that you didn't expect.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's all love.
Yeah, I had someone over last night actually walk up to me and he was like, "Yo, send me the last 2 links for the videos."
Oh, cool.
And I was like, "Okay, cool." Because he's like,
Cool.
he didn't get to watch them, but he did listen to the show, but he likes to watch it after.
Nice.
So shout out to that guy.
Hey, shout out.
So what's going on in BVI? Anything
Oh, wow.
we can talk about?
It seems like politics. I mean, I know we're not a political show, but it's part
Are we? Are we not?
I don't know what we are.
Are we
But
not? Blake, what would you say?
We're everything. We're everything show.
We're the people's show. I like that one.
So I love it too. So, it seems like there's a lot of people, slowly creeping out.
Yeah.
Kind of putting their name out there. I saw this young guy and I was excited. I mean, I don't know who the young man is, but I was like, oh my God, he's so young. I'm excited because, it's like, I like to see young people get into that game.
Yeah, man, of course.
His name is Shamal Smith, and he's going to be running independent for District 5.
Wow. He looks younger than me. How old is he?
I don't know. I was trying to get some information on him, but I didn't get a chance to get all the deets. So we will get all the deets because.
And I'm in District 5. I'll vote for you, buddy.
You go. You go. I was excited. I'm excited.
That's good.
And
just because he's young, he should.
That's what I thought.
That's just that's something to look at.
I thought so too. And I'm like, how much more could he humbug up what's in?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It can't get much more humbug up than what it is.
Especially in District 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, shout out to him. And then I see, I think Stephanie Bruley. She's a brown girl in the ring.
Wow.
Yes.
Did not know that.
Tra-la-la-la-la.
Tra-la-la-la.
And she's in District 1.
Wow.
And
So that's up against 4, I guess.
Yes. And I think she said that there's a new movement called the Sunflower or something. Something. Something, but it's a whole new movement. So I guess they're going to have more candidates.
Okay.
We're looking for that. So,
okay, good.
Hey, I don't know how much parties we're going to have.
Right.
Because right now it's only like 3, maybe 4.
I don't know. We'll see.
But it's going to be a good mix-up pot. And I am one for coalition government.
Yeah.
So that we could all come together with different background and form the government and have a better government for the country. So I'm all about that. So mix it up.
Yeah,
Get the pot full
I
of
agree.
people.
Let's get young, old.
Mixed up.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's do it.
And then, Foxy's.
Yeah.
Have you seen any pictures or anything as to how things are going over there today?
What do you mean? Is it today or tomorrow?
I think today.
It's today?
The 7th.
So the 7th.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's just so ironic and controversial at the same time that police discovered 20 planted pots of marijuana plants 2 days before.
2 days before the fest.
His hemp fest.
Yes.
So
that was shady.
Yeah, it is. It was because I don't know. You've probably known this guy for years, and you've probably known
for a lifetime
that marijuana is a part of his life. If you go over to Foxy, if you know Foxy for years, it's nothing.
Yeah,
it's nothing hush about it.
It's in his DNA.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a lovely story to tell because when certain years down from now, when he might turn this into an annual event.
Yeah.
It's going to be so big that when we probably do decriminalize marijuana or when we do legalize it, he will have one of the biggest attractions here already because
he's
Hemp
already
Fest, he's already started it even
the man
before.
Is smart.
So the man's a genius.
He is.
The man's a genius.
But I could let you know that when I left King Garden Bay, there was no smoke fumes coming over us yet. Okay? I mean, I don't know what's going on now because I'm not there.
Right.
But when I left, they didn't reach us yet.
Right. Yeah. People asked me too today if I was going, and I was like, wait, that's today? I thought it was tomorrow. So I really thought it was tomorrow. Actually telling people it's tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's
today.
my fault.
It's today. And
okay.
I think Trav P is performing.
Okay. Yeah. He is.
Shout out Trav P.
Yeah, man. Shout out Wolfpack.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So what else?
Oh man, what else? It's been kind of a quiet week, but we have the first name hurricane. Well, it's now a tropical storm back again.
Yeah, it's back to a tropical storm.
Right, but Puerto Rico went crazy. They emptied the shells.
Yeah.
Because of course, I was scared. Because it's like it started getting really breezy.
Yeah, you
things
can't take a
started
chance.
flying around and stuff like that. And then as I was walking this morning, all I keep seeing in the hills is galvanized and all kind of debris. And I'm like, oh God, no.
Yeah, we're not ready
for
it. We're
definitely not ready. Definitely not ready. Have still a lot of cleanup to do. So we're gonna pray it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you see when you go on social media, you see everyone's statuses, and you see that the trauma is still there.
Yeah.
Even when they try to joke about it, it's like even when they try to joke about it, deep down like it's affecting them in some way, and they have to deal with it in some way.
Definitely.
So people, they lash out, and they also had that the fake WhatsApp about the Category 6 hurricane that was passing around.
I didn't even see the WhatsApp or heard about it. I just know that my mom came in this weekend when I picked her up from the ferry dock. She's like, oh God, we're getting a Cat 6. I'm like, oh really? It's just a tropical storm.
Cat 6 hasn't even
She's
been
like, that's what they told me as I got off. So I don't know. No, there's no Cat 6.
Ladies
Cat
and gentlemen,
5.
There's no such thing as a Category 6.
No.
Just so you know, there is. And if there was, it would be called a superstorm.
Yes.
And thank God we haven't seen one of those yet, because we can't take anything else.
We don't.
So whoever came up with that WhatsApp
but I heard that they were like tagging DDM and other.
Yeah, they tag everybody.
That is terrible.
They tried to tag every credible source.
Oh my God.
To seem like it was true, you know what I mean? To just get more people.
That's just terrible.
Up about
that's what I'm saying. I mean, how many people blood pressure went up? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because for me, I know when it started raining Thursday evening, I started getting nervous because my roof is currently being worked on. And I'm like, oh, my God, please don't let no water come in. And, I mean, I know I need the rainwater, but I was happy to see the rain stop until my roof is finished.
I hear you.
So
I hear you.
I know people are panicking.
We're all in a dilemma.
Yeah.
And it's together. At the end of the day, we're all affected by it one way or the other.
Yep.
One way or the other. It's through friendship, family, relationships. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And another thing that's been happening a lot in the Virgin Islands, and I think both U.S. and British, is we're losing a generation. Mm-hmm. Those persons in the 80s and 90s, if you notice on the funeral announcements in the mornings, we have a large percentage of persons in that age group. It's like, my age group is now becoming the senior age group.
Yep. Sorry.
I know.
Yeah, but you'll be here with us for a long time, so nothing to worry about.
So,
there was actually a funeral today, as you brought that up. I had no idea.
We had a couple today.
Two. There was 2 funerals today.
And I attended one yesterday.
Oh, wow. So we had 3 funerals this week, possibly more that we probably don't know about.
Yes. So that's another thing and I think a lot of people are saying that, you've seen those numbers raise since Irma. And I think it's just the trauma.
Yeah.
And, when you're that age and you've seen everything you've worked hard for, and, in the BVI, we're not big on living off of big Social Security checks like in the U.S., Virgin Islands and in the mainland U.S. So people, are living off of bare means, their savings, and it's like you see your whole house roof gone, all the windows are gone, things have blown out. You have $20,000 in the bank, and it isn't enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just bringing all of that weight on top of your shoulders and knowing that your kid's probably dealing with the same dilemma and aren't in a position to even help you as they would want to. It's just a lot. So, continue prayer for those persons who are going through.
Yeah.
you know, and hopefully, you know, we don't have any real serious threat this year.
Agreed. So. People bring it up all the time, and people are, as you say, I bring up the word trauma a lot, but they really are traumatized. They bring it up so much, like, oh, we're gonna get another hurricane. Oh, we ain't prepared. We ain't this. We ain't that. And it's like, I was telling a friend the other day, his daughter doesn't want to go back to Florida.
Oh, okay.
She's been there since after Irma.
But I've heard a lot of people made that comment.
And she doesn't want to go back to Florida. And he's like, he wants her to go back to Florida because he doesn't know what hurricane he's going to get here this year. Right. So I told him, you don't know what hurricane Florida going to get this year.
And
you know what I mean? So if you like, I mean, you could have chosen. I mean, not saying that he had an option with another state.
Right.
But that's your only option right now, and to me, that's no better than here at the point.
Yeah,
in terms of hurricane season.
And you can't run from it. I mean, California has the crazy fires and the floodings, and then you have tornadoes in certain states in the Midwest.
Right.
In D.C., you get those crazy thunderstorms.
Snowstorms.
You know, so I mean, you can't run from it. No. It's something in every region. You just have to go by and, you know, just do the best you can.
Yeah.
But I've heard that statement from a lot of persons that have sent their kids away, and the kids have not returned and don't want to go back.
Yeah.
And for someone that I left Tortola when I was 10 and went to school in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I know it was traumatizing for me because, you know, we had a different accent. And then me being a little chocolate girl. And I, you know. Of
course,
so I could imagine what some kids are going through because I hated it. You know?
Yeah,
so,
I can't imagine.
Hey.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
What I really can't imagine right now is the 12 boys that are trapped in the cave in Thailand.
And they said they're running out of time.
And they're running out of time right now.
Have they taught them to swim? Because that's one of the things for them to be able to be free.
Yeah, for them to be able to
they have to learn to swim.
Right. Yeah.
That is
so, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening right now, we're talking about the 12 young boys, our soccer team.
Yeah.
They got trapped inside of a cave in Thailand.
I think it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 14 days.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And these kids, basically, I'll give you guys a rundown. Some scuba divers found them 9 days. Was it 9 days into it?
Something like that.
That they found them?
Yeah.
I think so. Don't take my words. Not seriously. Take it with a grain of salt.
Well, yeah, they could do some research.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the crucial things is that these kids have to swim through caves, dark caves, with scuba tanks in order to get out. And with the rainy season there right now, the caves could fill up with water and they could drown.
Imagine
so if they're not taught to swim within that time or be able to use a tank within that time, then they could possibly be lost.
Right, and I think today's news was that they're running out of air.
Yeah, they are.
In the cave.
They are, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a number of factors right there. And in addition to the fact that the kids are probably traumatized because I think they're pretty young.
Yeah, they are. This 11 to 16.
Right. So, I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah, you can't imagine what the parents are going through. Especially being right outside, you know, because it's a mile. I think it's a half a mile down.
Wow, right there.
Yeah.
But still so far.
I think it's a half a mile down.
I don't know. I wouldn't wish that on any parent. Oh, my God.
Not at all. Not at all. So our heart goes out to those parents and the kids.
Yeah.
We hope they make it, though. We hope they start making some kind of progress today.
Yes. Let's pray it out into the universe that the God above, you know, protects them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that would be really, really traumatizing for families and just to terror that country, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Worldwide. I mean, people who are, you know, locked into the story.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.
We covered quite a few things.
Yeah. So who do we have on the show today?
Oh, my God. Coming up first, we have a double hitter today.
Okay.
So coming up first, we have Lorna Dawson, director of the BBI Autism Centre. And she's going to just talk a little bit about autism in the country and, you know, give us some stats and, you know, how to know the signs and stuff like that. And then we're going to have Shine-i come on and talk about the joint effort, the fundraiser effort.
Right.
BGT 4.
Bridging the Gap, yes.
Bridging the Gap 4.
Bridging the Gap 4.
Stay tuned, guys.
All right, guys. Just so you know, shout out to Swag Crew. They sponsored my hat and shirt today.
Look at that hat, guys. He's a king. He's a king.
Everybody's been talking about this hat. People I send a picture to. People when I posted it on social media.
Yes, we
so y'all
appreciate
check
it.
out Swag Crew, please check them out. They're located behind a Clippers in the Botanic Station. When we, later on in the show today, I'll give you guys their opening hours and stuff like that. But shout out to Swag Crew. We're gonna hit you guys up when we get back. 90.9 FM, Pulse VI. See you when we get back.
Pulse VI.
Pulse VI. We're back, 90.9 FM. You're here with the Swing Show and BVI Chick.
Hey.
We're here with Lorna Dawson. How are you this afternoon?
I'm fine. Good afternoon.
You nervous?
Not really.
No? No, you're the director of the Autism Centre.
Yes.
Okay. For our listeners, no, we brought up autism before on the show. We just want to recap. What is autism? You know that had to be the first question.
Okay, so autism is a group of brain neurodevelopment disorders that covers a wide spectrum of things. Persons with autism, you usually find that they have challenges with three main areas: communication, social interaction, and behavior. And it's referred to as a spectrum because the range could be so wide. You could have someone who is on the spectrum who is highly intelligent, and you have someone who is severely impacted.
Gotcha.
So in terms of communication, usually you might find that they have challenges with communication, and on the more severe end, you would have persons who never learn to speak. Wow. And so you have to communicate with them in other ways. And you might have those who are highly intelligent and are really masters with words and can talk your heads off,
right.
And can get very, very technical in in their speech and that sort of thing. The same things with behavior. You have some who have repetitive behavior. You see like a lot of hand flapping or getting fixated on different objects and so on topics and conversations. And you have some who you can steer them away from it. In terms of social interaction, very often persons on the spectrum have challenges initiating contact with people, holding a conversation, watching you in your eye when they're open that conversation. And you tend to live in their own world. Okay. But what has been found is that the earlier you intervene, the more you're able to help. Even though it's a lifelong disability, people develop coping mechanisms and they learn to live in the world and interact with other persons.
Right. Wow. And in terms of like in the BVI, what would you say like diagnose that you are aware of or that you guys are keeping track of? What's the numbers looking like?
So far, when we talk about officially diagnosed, we probably, I think we only have maybe about 15 or 20 persons, and not all have been diagnosed here.
Right.
Some persons before the center opened, persons have taken their children or their family members away. They were diagnosed overseas, but then they've back, and we've opened, so they share their information with us. But however, we do have, persons might come to us and say, well, I think my child is on the spectrum. And we have, at the center, we have what we use, an initial screen called a Childhood Autism Rating Scale that we use. You do observation, you do interview with the parents, with the teachers, anyone who interacts with the child, and you score it. And based on that, on the scores that you get, it would say, well, this child is showing symptoms of autism. They're mild, they're moderate, or they're severe. Okay. And depends on what the score is. If it's mild to moderate and we have some concerns or severe, whatever, then we refer them for an official diagnosis. So in terms of what we have had diagnosed since we started, I think we've just probably had about 12 persons diagnosed. But we are seeing more children than that because we don't wait for diagnosis. If you come in and you say, I have concerns about my child, and we do the screen, even though the screen might only show mild symptoms, but we notice that there are delays and there are concerns, then we begin working with that child.
Right.
So that in the event when they go into school, at least they have a better chance of settling in and getting the work done.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the common concerns that you would say parent recognize?
I think one of the first things that parents notice is the child doesn't start to speak when the other children have begun to speak.
Okay.
And they also notice problems with like interaction. They don't, you peekaboo with a child, they tend to react to you, and the child sort of stays in their own world.
Okay.
I think those are the first two things that concern parents.
Okay.
And that's interesting because it could be that person does not have autism and they just kind of have a slow development.
Right.
So that's very interesting to hear.
One of the things that, because one of the questions you had was like the difference between ADHD and autism. And a lot of times the symptoms overlap. ADD is most focused with problems with attention and, really staying focused on a task. Whereas I said before, autism, the challenges are with communication, social behavior, and interaction. But there's a lot of overlap. And previously, they were diagnosed as separate. People, it was said, well, you couldn't have autism and also have ADHD. But with the recent manual that is used when you're diagnosing, they actually are allowing now for a combined diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
And so, but still, you still have to be very careful. And, it is advised if you have concerns to really get a full workup. Unfortunately, we don't have all that we need to have to really give you a thorough assessment, but we do try our best, and if there's concerns, then you can be referred outside of the territory. But the more you understand what is happening with the child, then the better you're in a better position in terms of what you offer to try and help the child.
Right. So the autistic kids are in mainstream schools here?
Before we go any further, people first, so we talk about children with autism.
Okay.
A child who is deaf, or a child who is impaired, as opposed to a blind child, a deaf person. So, okay, so we're not going to talk about the autistic children anymore.
Okay.
Children with autism.
Children with autism, yes. Are they in mainstream schools?
Yes, we have some in mainstream school, in private schools. We have at Eslen Henley Visual Learning Center. We have at the high school, Elmo South High School.
Okay.
So over the years since we've been here, we've been offering various levels of support, sometimes according to staffing, but our support involves working with the children one-on-one, helping them to develop skills, their social skills, how to interact with others, even how to communicate. I remember we have one child, when we started with him, he came to us and you said, "Good morning, Claudia," his response is, "Good morning, Claudia." Oh. So we actually had to teach him and, have cards teaching him what the response is. If someone asks him his name, if someone asks him where he lives, if someone asks him who his mother is. And, basically every day you go over that until eventually he was able to answer those questions and actually even able to go out and answer a question off script.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So, those are some of the things that we do for some of the older children, like those in high school, more for support because they're not having so much challenges with academics. It's more the social interaction.
Okay.
Right.
So more for support has tended to be in terms of helping them learn, go through how you respond in different situations and getting them to understand how to interact with other persons.
Gotcha.
Okay.
How long would you say that process took with the kid where you had to show him the cards and stuff to getting home with the same responding with "Good morning, Claudia"?
I think it was probably like maybe into the second year before we started to see a breakthrough. And then we realized afterward that if we said, depends on if we said "Good morning, Claudia," he would just say back, "Good morning, Claudia."
Right.
But if we addressed him first, we said, "Claudia, good morning." Somehow that made a difference, and he would just respond and say good morning.
Wow.
Okay.
So, it has taken a while, and it's taken.
Right. So the children with autism, like when they're integrated in the schools, how do, the other kids react to them? Because, of course, they're different and, bullying has been the new norm in schools today.
Right.
So how are they treated and how are the other kids reacting to them?
It varies.
Okay.
First of all, I think for all the children that we work with in the different schools, there's always a child who is a champion for that child. Up to on
that's cool.
Wednesday, I was at a school working with a child. My staff member who usually works with them was at a workshop. So I went to work with two children. And when I was finished and I was taking the little girl back to her class, I met another student coming to look for her.
Okay.
He said, "Oh, there you are. It's break time." And so the teacher said to me, "That's her little mom when it comes to school. From time she comes, she looks out for her." Because this is a child who when we started to work with her, wasn't speaking. And now she's speaking.
Wow.
Okay? And so you have children who look out for the others. We also have to do a lot of work. Since the hurricane, we haven't really gone into schools and done that much, but we try to do like awareness, speaking with teachers, with students, and making them aware of what different conditions are, not just autism, but disabilities and the whole, how they manifest themselves, and basically just getting them to understand that respect, regardless of the person, you respect and you accept them. And we find that the younger we start, the more the message gets across, because it's as you tend to get older. And children are influenced a lot by how adults perceive and do. Okay? So sometimes children are going along and they're playing and they don't see anything wrong with their friend. They're playing, they're fine. Until mommy and daddy says, oh, this boy is in my class and he's keeping you back because teacher has to be paying more attention, and that sort of thing. And so we're hoping that as we work closely with the children that we have now, when they grow up, it will be a different ball game because they would have learned acceptance from a young age.
Awesome. Wow. That's really good, really good.
So how long has the center been open?
We opened in 2012, October 29th, yes.
Okay. So still kind of new.
Yes.
And how often do you go out and interact with the kids? With the children with autism. Get it right, Claudia. How often do you go out and interact with them?
Okay. We have right now, since Irma, I just have one staff member dedicated solely to autism.
Okay.
When we started, the center started under the Ministry of Health, and I just quickly need to say it actually started with a parent who had concerns about her child. Her child was now an adult, and she had difficulty with care for him, and so she moved to the UK seeking help.
Okay.
And when she got there, one of the centers that she approached said, yes, it will be all well and good if we help your child, but then what happens, there must be more children in the PVI who have autism or on the spectrum. Good. So they reached out to the government here, and it took a while. I think the process started like in 2009, and back and forth with coming, checking out to see if it's worthwhile, and then finding funding to get it started. So we were actually started, the funding for the center started with from a trust fund in Barbados, a charitable organization in Barbados. And so they funded the initial startup, refurbishing the building where we were at, training of staff, fund equipment and that sort of thing. And the Ministry of Health also put quite a bit of money into the initial startup, and they also had to commit to continuing the program. So they paid for staff from the get-go, and once that funding evaporated, then the ministry had to take over with what was happening. Okay, so we had initially a staff. We would go out. When we started, we weren't fully staffed. It should have been, along with myself, the program director, special education teacher, and 3 program aid or developmental therapists who would work regularly with students. So when we started, we didn't have the special education teacher, and we were just getting our feet wet, so we had the children coming to us. When the special education teacher came on board, it gave us a bit more flexibility, so we actually started going out into the schools and working with the children in the schools. So that provided an opportunity to also work alongside teachers, share ideas on how to work with the students and that sort of thing. We were able to go into preschools, into homes, and that sort of thing. So we basically were out there every day, Monday to Friday. Afterwards, in going out, and as you work with a child, you come back, you realize, I need to do some research on this, I need to get materials together. So we started focusing mainly Monday to Thursday. Then on Friday, it was doing any assessments that needed to be done and working on resources and preparing for the next week. Since the hurricane, we had we're down to 1 staff, and so we have had to cut down on the number of children that we are actually able to see. We're still out there Monday to Thursday, But for some of the others who we're not seeing regularly, we keep in touch with the schools, we keep in touch with their parents and find out what's happening. How can we support, even though we can't physically be there working. A parent might call and say, I noticed my child is doing this or they're falling back. What do you suggest? And we help in that way.
Okay, cool.
Well, thank you so much.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, you gave us a lot. We barely even have to ask you any questions. You came prepared to just talk.
I know.
Talk to us. Yeah, but you gave us a lot of information. We really, really thank you for coming on the show.
Right.
It was very important to us that we had this collaboration today, seeing as Shine-i, is doing this.
The fundraiser
for that.
Aspect, so
we really wanted you guys to be here together. So.
Right, and we want to say thanks to them, to Adell and Shine-i.
Of course.
Okay, for supporting us. And I invite the public, if you haven't had your raffle ticket as yet, come out and get it. And see you on the 14th, next Saturday at Parham Town.
Awesome.
And they're going to tell you more about it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Lorna. We appreciate it. And maybe we'll have you on soon again to tell us more about what's been changed in your situation, right?
Later down, maybe this year or next year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Get a follow-up.
90.9 FM, guys. Caribbean Superstation. You're here at Pulse VI. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Pulse VI.
Yo, Pulse VI. We're back already. Yeah. What are we saying? We're here. Who are we here with today? What's going on, guys?
We're here with Shine-i and Adell.
Okay, then.
Blessed love, everyone who's listening.
You're doing you have to hit it. You have to hit this.
That's all. Yeah.
So, Bridget the Gap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 4.
4, yeah.
4.
The Black
4.
Party.
It's been 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Black Party. This one has one.
4 stressful one too, but I mean it's.
Well, I mean, isn't it? You think it'll always be easy? It ain't gonna never get easy. I tell you that from now.
To be quite honest.
Yeah, it's never gonna be easy.
Yeah, this is a different challenge we have this time.
Mm-hmm.
So the Black Party. What makes this one different from all the others? What would you say this year? What's different about this year than all the other years?
Well, I'll say the number of artists first. You know what I mean? We have a collective, group of talented people that come on board to, share the cause. And it's all about the cause.
Right.
You know what I mean? We, as a couple, share, the strain of, I wouldn't say strain, but we share a collective energy of, bearing a special need child. So
it's an experience.
Yeah, you were telling me.
It's an experience.
I would say, it's a different angle because, we're trying to bring community awareness,
Yes,
raise autism awareness, help Miss Dawson and the team, with their struggle and challenges.
You said that the difference with this one is that we have more artists, but I would have said that the reason is that it's post-Irma. Initially, we did not even consider doing the Gap this year, to be quite honest.
Yeah, true.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the biggest challenge because sponsors and everything is just completely different. But
it's a tough year after Irma.
Right, and then the challenges that we were facing in terms of getting the assistance from the center for our daughter.
Yeah.
We said, if we're even doing this event, how can we do it and not incorporate her? Because our sons are already incorporated. They're in a Shine.
Right.
They're a band on their own. So they benefit from the music in that aspect, and they always get excited about it. So we said, if we're doing it, we have to do something that would be able to benefit all our children. It's that or nothing, right? So we called Miss Dawson. I told her, I have a proposal for you. I explained to her what the event is and what we wanted to do with it this year, because this is the first year that we're actually having an all-day event. It's typically a stage show. Right. But this year, it's a block party. It's a party. It's free.
Right.
So that's something that's also different. And it is community-oriented this time.
Absolutely. Because it's an Easter.
We taking it back to our roots to this one. Yes.
I think to me that's one of the biggest things, and that's one of the things that's going to speak volumes, because I know people will come out, and I know everybody from that area, plus people from West, over the country.
It should be well supported.
Come out because I mean, you rarely hear about Block Party being free.
Yeah.
But it's a party.
You rarely have any concert being free.
Yeah.
Truly.
Period.
Yeah, and you're talking about the amount of artists and, all the stuff you have going on during the day.
Yeah.
For it to all be free, it would be great if persons just come out and offer their support.
Yeah, because like we say, it's an all-day event. In the day we have the family coming out, to share the moment with us. We have bouncy castles, we have the raffle going, DJs playing, socializing.
We have the food, of course, barbecue.
Food, drinks.
Okay.
The bubble machine is on the way.
The bubble machine,
just to keep the kids crazy and busy.
Tell persons about the raffle, though, for persons who don't know about what the raffle is about. Give them some details.
Well, we wanted to be able to raise funds for the center and at the same time be able to incorporate the fundraising within the event. So the raffle is actually going to be drawn at 7 p.m. That's the time we have. I call it a stage itinerary. It's not even a lineup. It's a stage itinerary this year.
Yes.
So it's definitely going to be on at 7. It's just $1 for the raffle ticket, and 100% of the funds for the raffle is going to be donated back to the center.
Good.
We also have a food sale as well, and the monies that we raise for the food sale, that would also go back to the center as well. So we're doing it twofold.
Right.
We had the raffle running from closer to the end of May up until this point. So tickets should be still available at Walmart, CCT. Where else, babes? Emails.
Right away. Yes.
Emails.
And
social development.
Well. Yes.
Wow. Social development.
Okay. So there's a bunch of places persons could go to get it.
And
there's no excuse then.
And it's just $1 for one.
And throughout the whole day.
Okay.
Of the event.
So come with your pocket full of money.
So $1. I mean, you could spend a $20 and buy 20.
Right.
You have 20 chances to win.
Right.
And it's 6 prizes.
A flat screen TV, dinner for 2.
We have shopping sprees from
Walmart, and we also have a cell phone and free gas.
Those are great prices. Things that persons need.
So come down, come win this free gas.
Understand? Come on, man. I mean, much people don't have cars because.
Shout out to the sponsors for the raffle as well.
Okay.
That's Alfonso Gas Station, Mr. Tony Alfonso, and he's right across from the venue as well. So we wanted to incorporate some of our community persons. The dinner for 2 is at Emails. That's Wheatley's, just up the street.
Frozen goods, Right Way, Walmart, of course. CCT.
Don't forget CCT. Thank you, Ricky.
You have to shout out to Caribbean Sellers as well.
Yeah.
Right.
For
sure. And on board we have to give thanks for the effort of who all is really on board to make it happen.
Right.
You understand? Because it couldn't happen without the artists them also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So man have to really big up them in that sense. Because I'm an artist too, so I know it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So for the person, I know it's a family event during the day, but of course, we're going to have those lally-gallies who just want to come out for the party. For those persons, what time does the party start?
Well,
in terms of the stage
show. Okay. Well, it's supposed. Well, it's like we say, it's an early event.
Yeah.
Starting at 9:30 in the morning. You bouncy castle, everything.
Yeah. So with breakfast.
If they're coming to help us set up, we're gonna have some hot bush tea on the side, and you can get some coconut bread. We'll be there from 5 in the morning.
Guys, do you understand? They need help setting up. Nothing better than bush tea and coconut bread.
You understand?
That's a perfect trade-off.
But the actual stage show, I mean, we have DJs, we have DJ Grim, on from about midday. Then we have Bad Boy Sounds coming in about 3 o'clock, somewhere along then. And then artists are running from 6:30 straight on up to midnight or across midnight. You know what I'm saying?
So full day.
Full day. And if you want to see real talent in small farm, come out from 6:30 because we have the Inner Shine performing at that time, you know. And,
and,
you know, there are some, not because
of
they are.
Of course.
Oh, you may be a little biased. I'm a bit biased.
That's okay.
Be awesome.
You are allowed to be biased, girl.
Yeah,
I know.
your kids for sure.
So if you not aware of who all is performing, we have Rudy Live, we have The Apostle, we have OMG, we have Killer Tuma, we have myself, Shine-i, we have The Jedi, we have Danny I, he's from St. Croix, we have Pep Dog, we have Priceless, we have Ill Minds, we have Aimu, we have Pac.
Wow,
and
that's deep.
Yeah, we have it's a full day, full event.
Independent genre.
Guys, come up with at least $100
like
each person.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm just saying because they're getting the card is stacked.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean,
it's a lot.
It's like
we're expecting persons to come and spend some money.
Yeah,
some money.
like a fest, you know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Fingers crossed.
So we had to incorporate ways to donate the funds. So that's why we do the raffle
and it's free, people.
And it's free.
It's free.
Can't get any better than
charge.
Yes. Let's not forget to
free
mention
of charge. Yes. You know
And
what I'm saying?
the free incentive was really and truly just because it's post-Irma. Like, we couldn't afford to go anywhere. We're like, who could afford to go anywhere, you know?
Right.
So we really wanted to make it something that persons can come out, be able to enjoy themselves. And at the same time, we wanted to stick with the mission, basically, because when we started Bridging the Gap, the idea was to be able to create a platform for VI artists, right? Whether St. Croix, St. Thomas, or here, you know, because typically I experienced it. I felt like I was experiencing it firsthand with him, but it was a situation where promoters would put you in a terrible position for a few minutes and nobody would get to hear it.
Right.
So we wanted to tell you plainly, listen, you're going to be getting the local stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Or stuff.
And
the persons who've been coming from day one, they've continued to come.
Support is
because we have artists that are on major platform, you know what I mean? And we can't look at them as local, you know, the underrated kind of vibes that people install on us. You know, we are international.
Right.
Yeah, or if you want to say outer national. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the platform that we created it in 2015. It's the first production under IRVI or production, because it's always been under Time Is Time production. And like I said, people have been walking up to us like every year, especially this year after post-Irma, and be like, hey, you doing Bridging the Gap this year? You doing Bridging the Gap this year? You know what I mean? So it's an energy that's out there and people looking forward to it. So I expect to see numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it will have numbers. So we'll just put it out there that you will have numbers.
Yes.
And good weather.
Yes. And good weather. Anyway, guys, it's 3:47 in the BVI. You're here. We're Bridging the Gap. 4 coming up.
Team. You know,
we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Caribbean Superstation, Pulse VI 90.9 FM.
Gosh.
Pulse VI.
Pulse VI, you're here. We're back. Ari VI in the building, Bridging the Gap 4 coming up.
The Black Party.
I pointed at him. Can I go watch this on Tuesday? See me pointing.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Before we go further, I want to really shout out the sponsors, the Bridging the Gap team. Shout out to, you know, all who've been our backbone. Shout out to Caribbean Sellers, Macassin, Carib, you know, Soli, you know, I-Grade Dub, you know, IRVI team, you know, CCT, Smalta, Corona, you know, Moet, you know what I mean? And, of course, the Autism Centre for even, you know what I mean, coming on board with us, and Pulse VI. You know what I mean? For being here, you know, Honorable Marlon Penn, Mellow Moods, Frontline System, and, you know, all the supporters who come out to Bridging the Gap every year and, you know, take in the full vibes of what we have to offer. You know what I mean? It's really something that is a passion of us, and, you know, we want to see something really great come out of it. I remember, you know, them times when you had music fest, when you know what I mean, you couldn't wait till when music fest comes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of
that's the one to bring. Yeah.
Okay.
You check.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to have at least 1,000 persons out there.
Yeah, we want about 4,000, man.
Okay.
At least.
Okay.
1,000. We got space up there, Paramtong. Well, for those who don't know, well, the event is on the 14th of July.
That's next week
Saturday. And it's at East End Pahamtown entrance by Moose Bar.
Right. Across from the gas station.
Yeah, right by the last gas station. As you're going up towards the airport, you're not gonna miss it.
Okay.
Because
impossible.
You're not turning right to go in
for you to miss it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just take yourself towards the airport
until you see the big black badge.
That's the real way, you know. So I mean, I must say, you know, it's a great movement this year. I am proud of it because, you know, it's a great challenge for parents, even having a child that is special
with
need,
autism.
With autism. You know, we are in the group chat with the Autism Centre, and we see a lot of stuff that they face.
Wow.
You know, even with therapists coming in who were volunteering their service. You know, it's a lot of challenges on that, and also, you know, lack of resources.
Right.
You know,
lack of information,
Right.
damages that have done from post-armor.
Yeah.
You know, it's real challenging, you know.
I could only imagine.
And
It is.
For those who have their internal affairs, like parents dealing with their own, I know it's you know, it's a task.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It
wouldn't be more than your normal child.
Right.
Because it's all about more.
I understand.
You understand? It's about more. You know, anything that you have to deal with that child or that individual, it's more. You know, more love, more touch, more kisses.
It's a different language.
It's
And how do your other kids react to your sweet little girl?
She's a queen.
She runs them?
Like they are very protective of her.
Okay.
They are always ogling her. Somebody's always looking to see, okay, who her name is. Her name is a Daisy, Gem Semper, and we just call her Daisy. And it was like, who's with Daisy? Or sometimes they're fighting as to who's supposed to be sitting by her when we're going on the road, or who's supposed to be, you know, who is she sleeping with tonight? Oh, mommy, it's like, yeah, give me a break, please.
Wow.
You know, they're very protective. I mean, they are boys.
Right.
And they understand, they grasp
they understand
the situation.
Yeah.
They understand, yes.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. That's even why they're probably even so protective.
And they would even tell their parents. One time we took her to the school. They had an event at the school, and she was there. You know, she's sitting in her chair. She's just chilling out, and all the kids just kind of started to swarm around her. And my sons, they said, y'all have to line up. Y'all have to hold on, because they're curious. They want to see what's going on. But at the same time, they're like, okay, it's fine. And they're explaining to them, because she does have physical challenges as well as intellectual. So they want to know, and they want to ask questions, and they're telling them, they're informing them, but at the same time, they're very protective of her.
Right.
Yeah. So we're thankful for that, because I'm not going to be here forever.
Right.
You know?
And you want to know she's taken care of.
And that she's safe.
What do you say to other parents? Because, like, we were just speaking with Miss Lorna Dawson, and she mentioned that since the center's been open, there's only been 12 diagnosed. And, I mean, we could all agree that there's probably others in the community. So what do you say to parents that may be on that fence, not sure?
Well,
what do you say to encourage them to have their kids diagnosed?
I'll say this much. You have to seek information. Without it, you'll be apprehensive, you'll be nervous, you'll be afraid. You know, you need to seek information. You need to find out exactly what not the problem is, but what the matter is. You know, you need to find out what is going on, what is happening with my child. Because when it comes to my daughter, ultimately, yes, we say special needs because her needs are different.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think that her needs are so different that they surpass what my other children need. Wow. In the sense that all of my children ultimately need the same thing.
Truly.
Right?
Gotcha.
So in order for her to be taken care of, I may have to go about a different route.
Right.
But she still needs care. She still needs love. She still needs attention. She still needs education. She still needs all the things that my other children need.
Right.
So it's for
That's
me
a good way
now,
of putting it.
as
That's
a
a good
parent,
point,
to find how to make it happen.
Look,
I like
have to be
that.
creative.
I like that.
They literally
That's how
kiss
we
her
feel.
100 times a day. like that's what,
Wow.
Daisy,
Wow.
But that's her language, and that's what she responds to. She loves touch.
Wow.
And we find it strange, in a sense, because you know, oftentimes you hear people say children with autism, they don't like to be touched.
Yeah.
But she knows who her people are in that sense. You believe she fouled because she look at you like, as she'll turn away. But any of us in the household, my parents,
She'll
my
draw
brothers,
to us.
courses, yes, she wants that she'll actually pull you into
Right.
her. Yeah, so
She
that's
needs that
the love and
extra
beat.
touch.
Yeah,
That's
so,
her language.
You know,
Good.
it's so.
I commend you guys though,
Yeah,
because a lot of
definitely.
people are not that open to share their story.
True.
And
it takes time.
It builds the community. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
It helps build the community because I'm quite sure, and I'm hoping that someone out there listening, it touches them in a special way that say,
I
maybe
hope so.
I'll reach out. I'll reach
Truly.
out.
And people
You
probably
have to
had
seek
no idea what
information.
the Bridging the Gap was doing for them.
Right,
They probably
right.
had no idea. They had no idea how probably
connection.
the connection with you
Yeah.
guys and how
I
close it
don't
is to
think
you
so
in your
because
home.
initially we did have a press release out at one point, and I saw a very nasty comment basically saying everything I'm hearing about is autism, you know. But I was like,
Yeah,
we need to
for real.
encourage persons to even realize like
And
we are parents.
of
A child with autism. You know,
so
we are doing
we
our
choose
part.
to take
Yeah,
all production.
we're not giving back, but
know?
we're
well,
paying it forward.
right. Well, and you're growing
Yes.
the community as well as the center. Because,
Exactly.
Truly.
Because the
Exactly.
center was destroyed.
Yes,
Truly.
they
Totally,
suffered
right?
much, yes.
Right, so-
I would say a special shout out to the Autism Centre, even in terms of what they were trying to do and what they continue to do with the little resources that they still have now, because had it not been for them, I was fortunate in the sense that I have a sister-in-law, a member in the family, who works within the social development department. So she was able to guide me and say, see, look here, because like I said, you have to seek information, you're asking questions.
Absolutely.
But they were very instrumental in even aiding me in finding out where I need to go and directing me as to how best to go about seeking early intervention and care for my child. And after the storm, everything went up in flames.
Yeah. So you had to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And like I was telling y'all during the break, the regular schools, we see they have slow progress. This is a minority situation we're dealing with. This isn't the masses.
It's not on the top of the
right.
It's not top of the list.
We said we have to be the change we want to see ultimately.
Truly.
Yeah, man.
Commendable.
Well, we commend you guys for doing it,
man, I
for
mean-
doing it and bringing yourselves forward and put yourself in that light. Because if somebody didn't put yourself in that light, other people would stay in that.
Like we said, it's
Right.
all
It's
about,
not-
like, that's why the energy is really free.
Right.
Because it ain't about money.
Right.
It ain't
Not-
about
yeah.
money.
Right.
It's
It's a
about the
different
cause.
mission. It's
You
a different
understand?
mission. This
It ain't
Yeah.
about money. We want to bring back those days where, you know, it takes the community to raise a child.
Exactly.
Yes.
You understand?
I
Those
agree.
days. Because it's just like too much killing, too much this, too much that.
everything. Too
Right
much
now.
negative.
Too much
Yes.
negative. So we want everybody that coming out to Bridging the Gap for the Black Party on July 14th.
Next
Next
Saturday.
Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yes.
Up in East End, come out there with your loving heart, your upful vibes, your party spirit.
And $100 at least in your pocket.
Just remember, it's a free event.
It's free.
You know?
So of course we're gonna
Come
repost
and spend
the
the day with
poster
us.
for you guys
Yeah,
on
yeah.
our Pulse VI page on
Right.
Facebook. So just
Surely.
make sure people
And the raffle
are aware.
information.
Again, the raffle
Yes.
information and
Yes.
just as much information as we can push
Surely.
up until
Positive.
that point.
Yes.
Thank
Surely,
you.
So thank you guys for coming on the show.
Yeah,
we
man,
are already
thank you
all
guys.
And we'll
all
be
text
there.
I already said we gotta wrap it up
We'll
minute. We talking too much.
We'll be there.
Oh yeah, Pulse will be there on the stage. I'll be there with Adele in the back, helping her stage
thank
manager.
You very much.
So shout out the man Blake.
Yes, so bring the babies.
Bring the babies out during the day.
Yes.
Let them go in the bouncy house.
Again, shout out to all the artists them collectively who come out and be a part of it. I mean, I myself must say, man, I love you guys. You know what I mean? You always have my back.
They didn't hesitate. They did not hesitate. Yes.
July 14th to 4/4. You're seeing it.
Them.
And we're ending at 4 o'clock. Shout out to the sponsors them to one time. And that's our time,
AB
guys.
Design.
Shout out to Swag Crew open
CCT.
Monday to Thursday, 1 to 7. Monday to Thursday, Swag Crew is open from 5 to 7, and on Fridays we open from 1 to 7. Saturdays open from 10 to 6.
Yes,
we out. Pulse
we're out.
Bridging the Gap 4. Peace.
Feel the pulse and you will see why. Where I from, we do it B.I.G. On each other we could rely. Feel the pulse of the VI. Listen close and you will see why. The information will set you free. Stand together, never divide. Pulse VI.